In the previous class, we had studied about the solution. What is solution? A homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. Now, homogeneous means what? You cannot say comfort that this is okay solid part and this is the liquid part of it. For example, if you have added sugar into the water and you have to stir it, okay, so you have a sugar water. So if I'll keep a sugar water in front of you, will you be able to tell that this is sugar and this is water now? No, that is not possible. It contains the solution is the that part of the component which is present in the large proportion. So you have this watery part, whatever is here, this watery part, this all is the solvent. And in that, say if you are taking water and sugar, then water is the solvent because water is present in the large quantity, and the other component which is less in proportion, that means sugar, that is called as the solute. So you can have some the crystals of that. All right, so the process in which what happens is the solute and the solvent is getting mixed. What is that called as? The dissociation, dissolution. Okay, so we have different solution with us. For example, you have sea water which contains a lot of salts into it. Then we have the salt water, we have the sugar water. All right, and then suppose you are adding the washing powder into the water, that is also. So what is that? The solute is these particles are solid in form. शुगर है, salt है, ये सब solid है, and that is dissolved in liquid. So how will you say it is the solid solid in liquid? So what are the example of solid in liquid? It is sugar water, salt water, etc. Correct. Now we'll move on to the example of liquid in liquid. For this I will give you an example of Ruh Afza or some of the concentrated sharbat available. That is also in a liquid form. What you people do, you add little water into it, you stir it. Another thing, suppose you have a concentrated vinegar at your home. Suppose you wanted to prepare Chinese, but in that so much of vinegar is not required. So what you do is you add, suppose you wanted to make a Chinese soup, so vinegar से पूरा नहीं बनता, but you have to add water into it, isn't it? So that is liquid in liquid. That is liquid in liquid. Okay, so vinegar is liquid and even the water is also liquid. Both you are mixing. So this is what is the normal thing. So ये ऐसे बनता है solution. जब भी ये solute and solvent mix होते हैं, we get a solution. Solution always don't think it in a liquid form, बच्चा. It can be in the gas form also. What is the example? We have the air. Air is the example of gas in gas. And chlorinated water. Chlorinated water, what we are getting now, that is nothing but the gas in the liquid. What we get the water is chlorinated water just to kill the germs, or when you go to the swimming pools, that water is chlorinated water. So to kill the germs, we add chlorine into it. So that is gas in liquid. All right, so these are the things which we studied before. So these are the various examples of the solutions what we come across सो वॉट यू विल डू, अगर आप शुगर वाटर लोगे या सॉल्ट वाटर लोगे और छन्नी से छानोगे तो इफ़ यू फिल्टर इट, can you separate sugar and water? No, not possible. So when such solutions are there, at that time you cannot separate solute and solvent just by filtering it, isn't it, to the filter paper. Now the next thing what we are going to see is the suspension. So here I will give an example of tea. आपके घर में चाय बनती है ना? So what is done? So that tea is separated from the liquid tea. The granules of tea powder is separated from the tea with the help of filter. तो ऐसे जो भी हम लोग फिल्टर से सेपरेट कर सकते हैं ना. सपोज आपने क्या किया, पानी के अंदर लकड़ी का भूसा डाल दिया. So if you add the sawdust into the water and you stir it, what you will get? You will get a heterogeneous mixture. You will get heterogeneous mixture. That heterogeneous mixture means what? You can separate the things. Heterogeneous means you can separate the things. So that is called as the suspension. So in the suspension what happens is the things doesn't get mixed. So अभी ये ऐसा कभी होता है when the solid is how much big? When it is of the order 10 raised to minus 4 से बड़ा हो. 1 मीटर का 10 raised to minus 2 is 1 सेंटीमीटर, minus 3 is 1 मिलीमीटर, और जो 1 मिलीमीटर ना उसका भी 10वां भाग होता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज दी 10 raised to minus 4 पार्ट. Right? So उससे whenever you will see the light cannot pass through it. The light cannot transmit through it. So such all the solid particles, what happens is they remain on the filter paper, and they are called as the residue. So the component of suspension is getting separated by simply filtration. Is this part clear? So we have seen solution जिसमें हम लोग filter paper से separate नहीं कर सकते. Suspension which can be separated from the suspension. So we are able to do it. So what happens is those particles are not able to pass through the holes which are present. So it remains up only. Alright. Now the next thing what we are going to study is about the colloid. अभी ये कोलाइड ना you can say it is in between these two, solution and the suspension. So the whatever you get the mixture of it na, that is the translucent. What does it mean? When the light is incident on the such surface, it partially gets transmitted. See what was the case in case of the suspension. Suspension में आपने diagram देखा था. I'll just show it you back to you. So light is not able to pass. Light यहाँ पे ही अटक है, उसके अंदर पास नहीं है. So you can see that green color light is not entering to that particle. But now here you observe, see this much. यहाँ पे इतना part है ना, this much part is entered. So what happens is the light is incident on the surface of mixture and it is partially transmitted and partially it is scattered. What do you mean by scattered? It goes here and there. It goes here and there. Okay. तो ये लाइट ऐसे आई ना तो इतनी पतली लाइट यहाँ पे नहीं आएगी. अगर ट्रांसपेरेंट लिक्विड है लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल दी शुगर सॉल्यूशन और दी सॉल्ट सॉल्यूशन समथिंग लाइक दैट, देन द लाइट इतनी ही पतली आएगी. बट यहाँ पे ना what will happen, you can see it, see the effect. How is the light here and how is the light here? उतना ही नहीं है, इतनी जोर से नहीं. that you can say the intensity of light has decreased. It gets spread through the solution. Okay, it gets spread through the solution. It gets scattered. That is the scientific word which we are using. So for here I can give you the example of simple milk. So tiny particles of the milk phase in this heterogeneous mixture are dispersed evenly in the water phase. What is milk? Milk is a mixture of protein, lactose, isn't it? So that is in the milk phase में क्या होता है, ये heterogeneous gets dispersed completely in the water phase. Do you know what is the size of this? वो 10⁻⁻⁴ था ना. This phase will be 10⁻⁻⁵. उससे भी मतलब 1 मिलीमीटर के आप 100 टुकड़े करोगे ना, 1 मिलीमीटर के उतने छोटे होते हैं. सो व्हाट हैपन्स इज चिल्ड्रन, फिल्ट्रेशन ने उससे सेपरेट, आप दूध को छलनी से छालते हो तो वो निकल जाता है, isn't it? And light, what happens is light get dispersed in such solution. आपको एग्जाम्पल करना हो ना घर पे एक्सपेरिमेंट तो मज़ा आएगा. हाँ, आप मिल्क लेके कर सकते हो. एक आपके पास लेज़र अगर लाइट है, देन यू कैन डू दिस एक्सपेरिमेंट. यू कैन जस्ट पास थ्रू द मिल्क, थोड़ा सा डालो पानी के अंदर, एंड देन यू कैन just pass the laser light, see whether it is on the other side it is coming or not, and how it is coming. Another thing is you can just take a simple phenyl, whatever you are having at home, a drop of it, and you can do the experiment. But for this you need to have a laser light, because laser light only one beam ना, हम लोग का ये ऐसे टॉर्च वगैरह कुछ भी लगे तो उसमें so many rays are coming out. Okay, so that is compulsory. So such simple experiment you can do at home. Homework for the students, those who are interested, and they can show the experiment, they can send the video, no problem. So this was all about the colloids. Now let us go ahead with the compounds further. We have already seen what is element. It is the simplet composition. All right. So elements, whether they are in the joints or the separate sets. अगर elements ऐसे ऐसे करके, suppose this is an element of say you can example is nitrogen, this is oxygen, and this is say hydrogen. When you mix it all together, this will be a mixture. And if you take a proper proportion, you can get a compound also. So ultimately compound and mixtures both are made up from the elements only, isn't it? Now let us do some experiment. Children, here I am having iron filings. Iron filings मतलब क्या? लोखंड का powder, भुक्का. So this is the iron filings what I am having. I just magnified little bit. So can you see this? Okay, so this is the iron filings, and in the second I am having the sulfur powder. Sulfur is yellowish in color, बच्चा. So suppose I have taken 7 grams. देखो इसके almost double है. 7 grams. So I have taken 7 grams of the iron filings and 4 gram of the sulfur. And what is this? You know, it's a horseshoe magnet. Now if you take near to the iron filings from with both the substance, क्या होगा? What will happen? What you will observe? यहाँ पे सब iron filings चिपक जाएंगे, isn't it? When you will take it near to the iron filings will come here on both the ends, चिपक जाएंगे. Yes, but when you take it near to sulfur is not magnetic material, तो उसको कुछ नहीं होगा, वो वैसे ही रहेगा. Fine. Now you have seen that iron is blackish brownish in color and sulfur is yellowish in color. And then iron is getting attracted towards magnet, but sulfur is not getting attracted. Fine. Now what you are going to do is just simply going to mix them, and then you do it. So when you mix it, so you are going to have iron plus sulfur. आयन प्लस सल्फर दोनों को मिक्स किया और फिर ये किया, टेक द मैग्नेट टूवर्ड्स इट. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? what you will observe, the iron filings is getting stuck over there. फिर dish में क्या रह जाएगा? Only yellow color sulfur. So we can just separate it, isn't it? हाँ. Now what we will do, the next thing is we are going to heat it. जो हम लोग ने iron and sulfur mix किया था ना, that we are going to heat it. So when you will heat together, what will happen? Some chemical reaction takes place. Means हम लोगों को कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा? Isn't it? हाँ? So that we don't know. But when you will heat together and it cool it, and then you just take its magnet near to it. ठंडा करने के बाद में उसको अभी ये ठंडा कर दिया है, अभी गैस बंद है, ठंडा हो गया, और then you take a magnet towards it. What will happen? जो इसके अंदर आयन था ना, वो अभी कुछ भी चिपक नहीं रहा है. It is not getting attracted towards the horseshoe magnet. So what is that indicates? It indicates that whenever chemical combination takes place, the bond are formed, new bonds are formed, and the original property of an element can be lost also. All right. So you are going to write down the observation of it. So iron filings and sulfur mixed in a dish. What is the color? Color of the matter is, just when you mix yellow plus black. An effect of horseshoe magnet, that ions are getting, what you will write here, iron filings are getting attracted towards horseshoe magnet. ठीक है. अभी हीट करने के बाद में कलर ऑफ द सब्सटेंस इट इज ब्लैकिश. So this will be blackish. And effect of no effect. Okay, no effect on the. So you can record the observation in the observation table which is given on your page number 44. All right. So when you mixed it, what you observed, that the iron filings are getting attracted towards it. But when you heat it, it will not. What happens is, here the bonding takes place, new chemical bond takes place. All right. So this is how the things get with. See, atoms, the chemical bonds are taking place inside. Just start imagining it. So children, compound is made, but compound है ना, जो बनता है ना, उसके अंदर फिक्स प्रपोर्शन होता है. So फिक्स प्रपोर्शन मतलब क्या? When I say मेरे को पानी बना है, तो I should have 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen compulsorily. उसमें भी कोई चले चलना, एक ऑक्सीजन ज़्यादा है, मेरे को H2O2 बना देना, 2 ऑक्सीजन को कहाँ रख के आऊँ, ऐसा नहीं चलता है. ओके, कंपल्सरी यू आर गोइंग टू हैव फिक्स्ड प्रपोर्शन. 2 हाइड्रोजन के साथ में 1 ऑक्सीजन कंपल्सरी, और कुछ कम ज़्यादा नहीं. सो मॉलिक्यूल्स are in fixed and when we write down the formula, what is the formula for water? H2O na. So it indicates the number of molecules, number of atoms which are present in the molecule of a compound. So actually molecular formula is very much important. It gives the information that उसके अंदर कौन कौन है और कौन कौन से proportion में है. Got it? So we'll go ahead with the molecular formula and the valency. Here we have seen the example of H2O. That H2O, we have compulsorily 2 hydrogen atom combining with 1 oxygen atom. कोई extra नहीं, 2:1. So here I have the chart in front of you. Molecular formula of some compounds are given and you are supposed to find out whatever gaps are there, and that we are going to find out. So for example, it is written H2O. So when H2O लिखे, उसका मतलब हाइड्रोजन के कितने हैं? See here, यहाँ पे कौन कौन के एलिमेंट है? हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन. एंड हाउ मच हाइड्रोजन? तो चलो 2 है, बिकॉज H2 है ना, एंड ऑक्सीजन 1. गॉट इट? So in that way we are going to write out. So let us write down all of us together about the next part. Let me make it little magnified. So I hope now it will be visible to everyone. So next compound is hydrogen chloride. So उसमें कौन कौन है? We have the hydrogen and we have the chlorine. कितने hydrogen है? बचा one only because it is H. And how many Cl? Only one. Right? So number of atoms are 1 and 1. Now it is written methane. The chemical formula, molecular formula is CH4. So what you have? Carbon and hydrogen. How many carbon, children? C के बाजू में कितना लिखा है? कुछ भी नहीं लिखा. So that means only 1. H के बाजू में कितना लिखा है? 4. That means 4 atoms of hydrogen. Now let us go ahead with the magnesium chloride, MgCl2. So you have magnesium and you have chlorine. So magnesium, how many are there? Only one. And chlorine, Cl2. So it का मतलब it is 2. So write down quickly. So I hope now you are able to understand. If the molecular formula is given, then you can find out how many number of constituent elements are there and what is their ratio in which they are combining, isn't it? So this is what is the ability of joining from with the another atom, and it makes a chemical bond. It's a chemical property of any of the atom. So a atom forms as many chemical bond with the other atom as its valency. So it is generally the valency of an element remain constant. वो change नहीं होता है. So we are going to learn in detail about the valency. You can come to know about it, children. I'll just give an example of the you can take how the hydrogen is combining with the other element. So let's see that. You have the various compounds of hydrogen here. So we have hydrogen chloride H2O1. So observe here H और दूसरा उसके साथ में कौन है ना, वो कितने हैं. Okay. So you can just write down the valency of hydrogen here. It will be always 1. Here is a mistake, children. Here always it is 1. Okay. And the number of bonds formed by the X with the H is, for example, see, I'll just give an example of फर्स्ट हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड. सो H और उसका बन गया एक बॉन्ड Cl के साथ में, तो बन गया HCl. ना व्हेन आई से वाटर, वाटर इज व्हाट H2O ना. हाँ, तो अभी ये जो है ना हाइड्रोजन, वो जो दूसरा एलिमेंट है उसके साथ में कितने बॉन्ड से अटैच है? H. चलो वो के साथ में बना और एक H है ना, तो वो तो कितने बॉन्ड हुए अभी यहाँ पे? 2. सो वी विल राइट डाउन हियर 2. ओके. तो 2 बॉन्ड बने, तो उसका मतलब ये जो ऑक्सीजन है उसकी वैलेंसी कितनी हो गई? 2. गॉट इट? सो नाउ in this way we are going to write down about all. Okay, here by mistake it is 1 2 3 4 print came, so just one it is given in the textbook only. So now we'll write down about the other elements also. So let's do that. Let me make it little bigger so that you can visualize it properly. Yeah, this is proper now. So we have hydrogen. हाइड्रोजन के साथ में कौन है? सल्फर. सो हाइड्रोजन का 1 हुआ. सो जैसे H2O है वैसे H2S होगा, isn't it? तो हाइड्रोजन और हाइड्रोजन S के साथ में ऐसे कंबाइन होंगे. सो वो हो गए 2. सो द वैलेंसी इज 2. गॉट इट? So please write it down. Similarly, NH3 is given. So H is there, hydrogen, एंड यू हैव नेक्स्ट इज नाइट्रोजन. तो ये नाइट्रोजन के साथ में कैसे हो गया हाइड्रोजन, एक यहाँ, एक यहाँ और एक यहाँ. कितने बॉन्ड हो गए बच्चा, 3. करेक्ट. सो हाउ विल आई राइट डाउन, I will write down as 3. So the valency of the element is also 3. Then you have HBr. So HBr is given here. So you have hydrogen 1 and Br is also 1. So 1. Hi, so ये भी H और I दोनों भी 1 1. So valency of the other element is 1. NaH. तो H के साथ में कौन है, Na. दोनों कितने, एक एक. So you have the valency of sodium also 1. Now it is given CH4. So you have hydrogen and you have carbon. अब ये कैसे होगा, I'll just show you here. You have carbon here and then hydrogen, hydrogen, चार साइड से हाइड्रोजन 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 और हाइड्रोजन. 4 है ना, H4, तो ऐसे लग हो जाएंगे. तो how many bonds are there now children, it is 4 bonds ना. So we can write down of carbon there are 4 bonds. So what is the valency of carbon, 4. Got it. एक आइडिया दे दूँ और एक, चलो मैं बाद में बताऊँगी. This much is followed, and otherwise you will not understand the importance of this. So I hope you all have taken down this.